Jade. We are back with our Love Island segment. So we're going to be doing episodes 24 through 27. Ooh.
With the recouplings, we have Huda and Chris officially a couple now. But Chris is still interested in exploring Chelley.
Right.
And he even tells Chelley that he going to rewrite a song, My Sherry Amore.
My Chelley Amore.
My Chelley Amore.
She got the most eligible bachelors in the house on her. I felt so good. I was like, Chelley, Clarke. She needed this. I needed this. I was living vicariously through her. The 6'8", the great, and then she got the short king ace of spades. Ooh, wait. I'll go about it.
Yeah. Just watching this season thus far, whenever somebody new came in that Ace was interested in, he would start making Chelley and that person pancakes. So he was always kind of open. Although he still expresses lots of interest in Chelley, he is keeping his options open. So I think this is the first time where we see Chelley really has options for real. Because like I said, I don't count the Austin triangle. That's not a triangle.
Right.
So yeah, I was happy to see her have like a legitimate additional love connection option.
Yes. I love how Chris continues to pull Chelley for shots. I think it's so funny too because Chelley was talking to Ace about like, oh my God, you and Chris are so much alike and there's so many things about him that remind me of you. And Ace was like, man, nobody like me, baby. It didn't make him let up. Like, it was foot on gas even harder. I loved it so much. I'm like, a man.
Okay, let's talk about Iris being messy because at this point, Sierra and Nick, they're both coupled again.
Right.
Olandria told her face to face, like, hey, yes, I kissed Nick.
Yeah.
It was platonic, no spark, like, we cool. Yeah. And Sierra was like, that doesn't even bother me. Like, out of everyone, I'm glad it was you. Yeah. You know, so they're having this understanding. Now here comes Iris. Oh, if it was me, I would feel some type of way. Like, and just putting all that negativity in her ear to where now Sierra's, questioning, like, maybe I should feel some type of way.
Yeah, she's like, oh my God, was I wrong about that? Like, should I be offended? But I thought it was big that Olandria told her. It's a game show. Mm-hmm. So I feel like everybody was fine. But yes, I put that I thought Iris and Sierra combo was hilarious. Okay, so Adrina is secretly feeling Pepe. She hasn't actually tried to go and pull Pepe for a chat, but she's making it known that she's interested in Pepe, and there's just something off with her and Brian. And Brian was kind of making it known like she is so fine, but the conversation is just dead with us.
I liked that Chris pulled Ace for a chat and they talked as men. They came to understanding like, hey, listen, I'm interested in her too. This is my game plan. This is your game plan. We cool. And I like that. Like, just two powerful men that don't need to feel like they're literally competing, but they're not worried about each other. They're just both focused on taking care of Chelley, which I love for her.
And then can we talk about Nick? I loved how Nick said he was crashing out if anybody was kissing Sierra or if she was kissing anyone else.
She was like, I don't want you kissing nobody you've had any sort of connection with. And he was like, no, I won't kiss anybody. I won't.
Until we got to the challenge, which was...
They basically had to make your heart rate rise. Yeah. Whoever made your heartbeat rise the most. When the couples went to the other islanders, they kind of split up. It's a person by person type of thing.
One thing I have to bring up, the three-way kiss was crazy. Chelley and Amaya, bro.
So prerequisite, Nick said he wasn't gonna kiss nobody on the lips.
Nick stuck fingers in the mouth and licked on the feet.
He licked on Olandria's feet. He put her whole
foot in his mouth, bro. That was crazy to me. I'd rather you kiss her. You sucked her toes off like they were delicious. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Huda and Chelley.
And Ace.
And Ace. Ace wasn't in trouble. Only Huda was in trouble. Huda decided to pull Ace specifically and gave him a little private show.
Mind you, at the same time, Chelley's doing her own thing too. She's all up on somebody.
Chelley got big mad at Huda, like big mad at Huda, and wasn't messing with Huda after this and said, we'll talk later. And that's how the episode ended. And they carried this on, you guys. So episode 25, I mentioned it was interesting that the guys think that Huda went overboard too. But Chelley didn't when she doubled back on Chris, because she did double back on Chris. She hit the splits on Chris, but they didn't think she did anything wrong. And the guys were like, yeah, Huda did too much, man. Huda did too much, man. And then I also love how Nick was expressive and expressing his feelings about Sierra. But Elon wasn't wrong to me still, because Nick still kind of kept feeling away even in this episode. But I was like, baby, let it die. Like, Sierra wants you. Elon probably won't even be here that long. Like, what's up? That's not your competition for real. I'm going to move on to Tay and Clarke. So Taylor was trying way harder with Clarke than he ever did with Olandria. And I started to notice, just simply off of the conversation and the emotion. He smiles when he's with her. He looks at her. He gets all giddy. He bites his lip. He blushes a little bit. I don't even know to make a blush, but he does it when he's with Clarke.
Chelley and Ace are still kind of having to have more discussions on what went wrong during the previous challenge because they're both feeling away. Ace is feeling away because Chelley went and doubled back for Chris, which Chelley isn't seeing what the big deal is, but Ace is trying to explain you doubled back because you really like him. So that's an actual threat for me. Versus Huda, who I've never actually taken things with, that's twerking on me, that shouldn't be a big deal. Chelley was not hearing out Ace at all. Like, wasn't even trying to understand his point of view. She was basically just disregarding his feelings completely.
Yeah. Chelley was bullshitting a little bit, mind my language, but she was BSing a little bit when she said, oh no, when I chose Chris, it wasn't intentional. Chelley, yes it was. You intentionally kissed him because you intentionally like him. That just only made sense. I think she was really just jealous of how hard Huda was throwing him back on Ace, to be so honest with you. But Olandria, I thought was extra too. I wanted to say that conversation she had with Huda was rude, and that's why I tell you Olandria is so nice, nasty. Huda was like, am I a terrible person? And Olandria goes, well, you're not a terrible person, but it was a bit much. They were mad at Huda. But it's a double standard. It's such a double standard. Olandria was kissing Nick, and everybody else, she be throwing it back. He was sucking her toes. I mean, come on. They pick and choose, and they pick and choose when they want to be girls. We're such girls that we can't even compete in the competition anymore. So I don't know. Barreling off into something else. Did you think it was weird when Chris put less on Huda's plate than he did on Chelley's? Like, he gave Chelley, a flower, and he gave her more pancakes, and then he didn't give Huda no flowers, and he gave her like one pancake. Huda called it out, and he acted like he didn't know. You didn't know that you put flowers on one plate, not the other, and you gave one girl double the pancakes, and you gave one girl one flapjack? I didn't like how he played oblivious and dumb. You don't get it? Right next to me. Her plate is jazzed up, and my plate had one berry, no flowers.
I feel like Chris is a very intentional man, so you know what you're doing when you're giving Chelley 2 pancakes and a flower, and you're giving Huda 1 pancake. It's like, here you go. Like, she's getting scraps. I also want to point out that even though Ace and Chelley are not seeing eye to eye right now, Ace is continuing to bring Chelley breakfast and just grabbing random flowers and orchids and branches off the villa and giving it to her, which is it's cute and it's funny.
Next thing was Sierra and Nick. They went on that cute little date. I loved it. They were super gushy, and they decided to be closed off.
In the moment when I was watching, I was like, oh, this is so cute. This is so cute. When I watch playback now of that scene, I realized how little Nick actually said. When they got back to the villa, Sierra's like, oh, he said, I'm the only one. He said he want to live his life with me. You the only one I have eyes for. I want to close things. Like, she made the story so dramatic. In comparison to when you watch the clip back, are you saying that I'm the one for you? And he's just, and she's like, and I wonder if she did that because of the Olandria thing, because she wasn't bothered, but then she was bothered because of what Iris said. So to go in front of Olandria and everyone else, he said I was the only one. Like, I wonder if it was a slight dig.
Why she did all
That's what I feel like.
That makes so much more sense now. Because these girls be trying to front like they friends for real. Girl, bye. Y'all are not friends. Y'all just met a month ago. You guys are not friends. And Drina reached out to Pepe, pulled him for a chat, and he put her in the friend zone and said that yes. And he said, I want to continue to pursue things with Grayson, who we know he don't even like.
Right. I don't know if maybe they just didn't capture much of Grayson on camera. But at this point, I still don't really know who Grayson is, to be honest. But yeah, he was basically like,
Negro, please. Didn't somebody tell you this was an all-white party? Huh? Someone get this jigaboo away from me.
He said, respectfully, no. I was like, what? Clarke asking Tay how she should feel in his opinion about what he did with Olandria was dope to me. That wasn't wrong. I like how she approached it. Instead of just trying to argue, she was like, how do you think I should feel about it? What do you think?
That's a smart way to go about it. And she didn't really react to Olandria doing all of what she did because I think she's just secure and feel like it was mature. So at this point, during this episode, or maybe toward the end, Chris makes a decision to kind of stop pursuing Chelley and start pursuing Huda more.
Yes.
They were in the speakeasy, they were having a conversation, and he had his little confessionals, and he was basically saying that he thinks that he's gonna really start focusing on Huda more.
I like that, and I said that too, and I made a note that Huda was freaky. It was so cute. They were kissing, oh yeah, and the speakeasy, oh my God, that kiss was hot. That kiss was hot and heavy. She go ride. One thing she gonna do is ride one last time for Huda and Chelley. I just don't know when the rules changed. I'm like, when did the rules change? Because you don't want to be friends with the girl anymore now. It's really crazy, but I like Chris. I just love how Huda can be herself with Chris. He's such a gentleman. I just love it. But then they started the standing on business game where everybody wrote their real opinions and thoughts of you on a card, put it in a mailbox, and you got to go pull it out.
Austin, he was reading his, in a sense, hate mail. They could either sign it with their real name and stand on business, or they could put anonymous if they were feeling a little scared. He got something from anonymous, and it said that he's not giving any girl any effort. He's just enjoying his time in the villa. And Drina ended up saying, that was me, I wrote that. I can't really be mad at her because, I don't think he's taken Jaden on any dates. They've just had conversations. I feel like that's all Austin does is have conversations, and he thinks that's enough. I don't know, I feel like we needed more. So next we have Sierra. So it was to Sierra and Nick, how come y'all aren't quiet in the bedroom? Which lets me know, so y'all making all this noise, people cannot sleep. Some people brought earplugs, but I'm like, for real? Like, y'all beds are closer than these are. The consideration for other people, there's just none for the world to see. Given with a little blanket cover, but we can still see you. We can still see the movement. Like, how are you not embarrassed?
How are you not embarrassed? Don't you want the intimacy to be, like, intimate? I am not finna, especially your first time with that person, and you are right next door to your mortal enemy and his girlfriend from last week. No, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Not in the room.
One more before we get to Amaya. This one was to Chelley, Olandria, and Sierra, and it was from Pepe. I think it was anonymous, and then he said he was the one that wrote it, I think. Why they sent Hannah home, which let everybody know, oh, so you not over Hannah, so Grayson just here because what? Like, so y'all not really making a connection.
Placeholder.
She's a placeholder. You said, why you sent my girl home? Like, damn, I am right here. I am your new connection.
I told y'all from day one he didn't like Grayson. She was a filler. He liked Hannah. Amaya, I felt bad for Amaya. I was sitting up there about to cry for her. It was just attacking her spirit again and just basically saying that she's too much, and it was from Austin. And poor baby.
Too fast for everyone.
She moves too fast for everyone. I hate how he generalized that for her, and it just gave her a complex, and I feel like she just thinks she's too much for everybody, and she wears her heart on her sleeve. So I was sad for my mind. I was sad, she had to walk away and catch her breath. But she recovered, don't get me wrong, she's still there and she recovered, but I felt bad for my Mai.
I think the worst part is that Ace decided to take the opportunity to be like, yeah, see, I wasn't crazy, this is what I've been saying. And then on top of that, Zach, with a K, it's the Asian Zach who she's coupled up with, who has had nothing to say thus far to her about this, decides to chime in and be like, yeah, I agree, actually, you are too much, like in front of everybody. They never had any conversations in private where he has expressed this in the past. So this is a shocker to her. And not only is it a shocker, but for it to be a unanimous decision amongst 3 guys, it's really making Amaya look like she's crazy. Amaya still stood her ground. She was like, this is how I am. I might not be the pie for you, or whatever analogies she was using. But then she did have to walk away and like catch her breath. And I think Sierra went to console her, but it's like that really was a terrible way for Zach to bring it up. You don't just bring it up in front of everybody when all the other guys are saying it. Like, why are we attacking her?
And then immediately following that, I think Pepe, his card, it was like, why are you playing around, wasting time with Grayson when you know you like Hannah more? And that's exactly what I was thinking. And he used that as the opportunity to break up with Grayson. And I'm like, dude, you could have been told this girl you're not really feeling her like that. But I think he's playing the game and he just wants to be on the show because he's not really interested in anyone else. But he clearly has a type. I think Ace came off super strong, but I understand where he was coming from, and I agree with him. Ace was so pissed. Ace was big bad, standing on business.
From Austin, people suck up to what you say. The Ace posse doesn't go against him. When it comes to Jeremiah, he was damned if he did, damned if he didn't.
He went off on Austin, but I was like, Ace, Austin isn't going to push back on you. Like, why are you being so big dog with Austin? He's so scary. It just kind of made me not like Ace for just that second, because I'm like, I feel like you picking on Austin. Nothing he said was wrong. It was true. I feel like Ace should have just been like, and you mad about it? And you're mad about it.
He was going off on Austin. He was like, you didn't even tell Amaya that you didn't like her. You went and vented to the God. Like, he just putting all the business out there. You know that scene from Why Did I Get Married? When the bald one that everyone hates was at the table and he was like, yes. Well, since we all putting all business on the table.
Right.
That's what Ace pulled. He pulled one of those. Amaya, did you know that your man didn't like you from the beginning? Like, that's literally how he did it. Right. Boom.
Boom.
When Ace brought up that Austin was venting to the guys about her being too much, Amaya decided to stick up for herself and be like, you're right. I asked Austin face to face if he had any problems with me, and he said no. And at this point, Austin turns to Maya and basically tells her, this is not about you. This is not involving you. Stay out of it. He does it in a very rude way. To where Maya's like, you're not going to talk to me like that. Because Austin, what? Like, up until this point, I've never seen Austin get disrespectful with the women. And so seeing that, I was like, ooh, this is another side of Austin that I don't like.
I love me some of Maya, though. I love me some of Maya, and she always stands up for herself. And I'm like, all y'all is doing a lot of talking. Shut up. Shut up. We're going on to Chelley. So Ace made a good point to Chelley in the cards about the boundaries. And I don't think Chelley likes to take accountability and be confronted with things. Chelley also seems like a very sweet person that's probably like rarely in the wrong, but the times that she is, she doesn't see it. Like she can't read those signs. So he asked her a very straight up question, basically implying, why do you set these boundaries for me, but you don't want to be closed off and you don't set those boundaries for yourself? It's a double standard. Is it not hypocritical? In my words. And I agreed. I couldn't wait to see what she said, but of course she really doubled down. And Chelley never said she was in the wrong. You're playing the game and so are we, but you got jealous for the first time. Don't be mad, because Ace could have been real jealous over Chris, baby. He's 6'8" and great. Okay. They came way too hard for Huda for me. I was sad for Huda. And she's like, Chelley, remember when you told me it's just a challenge? Referencing when I was jealous. And you told me it's just a challenge, girl, we're fine. Wow. And then Chelley doubled down, girl, and she...
The thing with Nick, though, what he said to me was a little off-putting. Because he wrote a letter that said he feels like Hannah was robbed of her Love Island experience twice, while Huda should have been dumped from the island. You could have told me that in person. Whoa. Tell me how you really feel. When this was read in front of everybody, the guys from Casa Amor, like the new guys, they were standing up for Huda. The new boys were backing Huda's growth. They were like, yeah, she came and talked to all of us. She was not closed off. Because it's like, why are y'all all coming for Huda? As always.
I hated that. I did not like how they were beating my good sis up. That was too much. And Nick was so phony for that. You just talked to me this morning and you didn't have any of that to say. And now you want to be on the bandwagon.
Olandria, when she was like, tell the class, she basically put it out there that you're not going to tell everybody that you kissed Chris in the speakeasy. And the girls were all, like it was some shocking, crazy thing. When it's like, isn't that what we are here to do? Again, I am confused.
If you're a friend, when I tell you something, you take it to the grave. I'm telling you that in confidence. Go and tell everybody else. Can't trust you. And that's why I'm telling you she's nice, nasty. That's a mean girl. I'm sorry, she a mean girl. A real friend doesn't do that. That's girl code. But she only has girl code with Chelley. Everybody else, it's kind of like to the wind.
It's almost like you're really willing to prove your loyalty to Chelley in this moment. Not only is it unnecessary, but it's like Huda and Chris are coupled up right now.
They're in a couple.
And they can't kiss? Literally, that's what she said. She's like, God forbid I kiss somebody I like.
The one thing I thought was weird that came from Huda, which we didn't hear, but Chelley and I guess Olandria kind of confirmed it, was that apparently behind the scenes, Huda had said she only was bringing Chris back for Chelley. Bullshit. Don't say that, girl. Don't say you're doing it for me and now you're kissing him for me. It's all for you, baby. I'm just loving him for you. Because, yeah, just to keep him around. I kiss him, we touch, we have sex sometimes. It's all for you, girl. But Huda, that's crazy, mama. That's crazy word.
Yeah. What I like about Chris is he didn't go back and forth with people. He got up there, he read the cards, he said his statement, he said, any questions?
But they didn't
Moving
go back
on.
and forth with Chris.
Because they knew not to. He's not going to go back and forth with you.
He's not.
So the Chris from Chelley switch up is insane. He just wanted to come to the villa. Like, no, he actually came and said he wanted to come for you. Yeah. You got back with Ace. You were all in love with Ace. Although you're telling Ace you're open, you're not doing anything to let Chris know that you're still interested. So he gonna move on. And he has already coupled up with somebody else anyway. So why not show that person a little interest, a little affection?
Clarke wrote a card to Olandria and she signed it because she stood on business. She didn't like that Olandria was referring to her and Taylor's connection, or Clarke and Taylor's connection, as a test. First of all, girl, I'm like, why'd you waste all that ink? Because you could have really just said that. And second of all, who cares? He's your man now. The boy is yours, girl. You won. Don't call us a test. Well, we all know it's not now, huh?
She low-key a supervillain because even though she worded it all night, it basically read, oh, it's a test. You sure? Is it still a test? Yeah, that's what it was giving. It was like, yeah, I didn't like that you called this very real relationship I now have with your man a test. You see how he's next to me and not next to you?
So crazy. How is he
a test, right?
Right here with me?
You sure? I'm so small and tiny. He's so big and tall.
Everybody talking about how the relationship between Taylor and Olandria was so strong. None of these people were in that relationship. How you gonna tell him how strong his connection was? And you cannot force him to like this woman. He don't like her. You can't force him to like her. You go and like her. Y'all couple with her.
At the end of this episode, I felt very strongly. I had very strong emotions. And I basically wanted Taylor to go home expeditiously. I wanted them to just poof, be gone. Because I feel that he was so rude. There was never I'm going to go talk to Olandria because I don't see this going anywhere. I think that's what it was. Like, y'all have been coupled up for so long. We're like, okay, maybe they're not intimate because they really are just taking it slow. Although through the screen, was it lacking spark and connection? It was, but we were just kind of like just holding out to see what would come of it. Me feeling so strongly at the way he came at Olandria talking about, oh, y'all want me to pick? I pick Clarke. Like, you're saying that to her as if she's the one that wrote that letter. She didn't write that letter. Olandria was going off at Taylor a little bit about how he said he was going to ping pong between the both of them, but then he wasn't really ping ponging. You didn't apologize. It would have been one thing if he was like, you know what? I apologize. Like, I shouldn't have went about it that way. I just was really feeling Clarke and I didn't know how to tell you. Okay, be honest. But instead to just throw it in her face and be like, no, I did 50-50. Yeah. I gave you effort. It just didn't work out. I choose Clarke. Like, it just felt so aggressive. And then on top of that, the camera going zoom over to Clarke and here she is. Like, I said, both of y'all go home right now.
When Taylor said, I choose Clarke, I was like, he stood on big business. Golly. It was Olandria, then it was the guys, then it was blonde, and it was blonde. He's like, you know what? F it. I like Clarke.
It shouldn't take all that for you to admit that.
That part.
You should be able to say that without everybody like, huh? What? I'ma say it. I'ma say it. You can just say it, bro. You don't have to get all fired up. And to be honest, when the girls were having their little powwow after all this drama and Huda was off to the side, I was feeling for Huda because I'm like, at this point, I'm going to go to bed. Like, I'm going to bed. I don't want to be around any of you. The fact that she was even sitting to the side by herself makes me feel like maybe the producers were like, you all have to sit here and talk. And Huda was like, fine, but I'm going to sit over here. That's what I got from it. Because I don't think she was there by choice.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the girls talking about how the night went and consoling each other and whatever, I wasn't feeling it either because I didn't like how they came for Huda. I think Amaya is the one that was like, you know, Huda, you can come over here and this and that. And Huda was just like, no, I have nothing to say to you guys. Like, she was over everyone, and I could feel it, and I don't blame her. And so she went to go lay down, or at least she just left the area.
I love how Huda could confide in Chris, especially when the girls didn't have her back. I love that, and that's one thing that I need from a man too. You should be my best friend. I should be able to talk to you about anything, confide in you, and have you comfort me.
Olandria meets with Huda and is talking about, I know I never divulged your information before, and I'm never gonna do it again. I'm sorry. And Huda's like, why would you do that? Right? But they make up. They're amicable. If it were the real world and somebody was coming at me that crazy, I would just distance myself. Asian Zach tries to talk to Amaya after he, in front of everybody, was talking about, yeah, you do too much. Actually, yeah, I don't like it either. He just made it worse. That one time that we kissed at the very beginning, when you asked to kiss me, I didn't even want to do it. Didn't even want it. You asked. I felt like I couldn't say no.
That was just so stupid. And I loved when Amaya said, I stand on business. I got 10 toes, not one missing.
It got to the game.
Oh my God.
It got to the game, and who was voted worst boyfriend material? Do you remember?
Worst was Taylor. America hated him at this point. America was not being fair. And honestly, I was shocked that they put Ace so low.
Right, because Ace was in 8th place, so right before the last place. And I'm like, really? Because what did Ace do? I feel like the whole time people either love Ace or hate Ace. There's no in between.
So America voted who they thought was the most valuable and the least valuable, and then the Islanders each individually, so not as a group this time, they individually had to go and stand behind the person they wanted to save. And up for elimination was
Austin, Andrina, Jaden, Taylor, Grayson, and TJ. 6 people. And out of the 6, everyone had to stand behind somebody. And the person that had the most people behind them got saved. And it came down to the wire. And it was between Andrina and Taylor. Yep. Ain't no Tay-Tay.
But it hurt me when Pepe didn't go and stand behind Grayson. That was so sad. She was so sad. If you saw the look on her face, she was like, oh, deflated. And long story short, I think it came down to one person. Oh my God, it came down to one person. Sierra stood behind Taylor, and I was shocked. I was shook. We thought we knew Sierra, but she stood behind Taylor, and Taylor got to stay, y'all.
When Sierra kept walking, I said, ain't no way. Because all this time you've been praising being a girl's girl and always talking and consoling to the girls whenever something's done to them. But now, when it's between Andrina and Taylor, you choose Taylor? What? And you're supposed to be girls with Olandria, and you see how Taylor has done on Olandria? Again, not about him choosing another woman, about how he went about it. I was shocked, and that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. I was sad though that Austin left. I will say that. I liked Austin. He was just so unproblematic. But now he's just making fun TikToks and living his life. So God bless.
Austin, me and you have beef for no reason, okay? Like, he cool. He cool people. The thing about Austin is, Austin would always do the weirdest stuff, but it would make me laugh. So I appreciate Austin, and now that he's leaving, I do feel sad. Because I'm like, he's, again, one of the OGs. And the only one that stood behind Austin was Olandria. And he gave her a big old hug and was like, I just knew you were like a real one. I knew you were my friend.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Sorry it got dark.
Sorry it got dark, y'all. But good conversation, man. Time flies when you're having fun. So y'all be blessed. I'm turning on. Y'all be blessed. Have a great night. As always, remember, I am who I say I am.
You are who you say you are.
She is who she say she is.
Let's go out there and kill it, okay?